In a quiet valley where carrots once grew peacefully, controversy now brews. Corporate giants have come to dominate, draining the land of its lifeblood, water. Fed up with their relentless greed, local farmers and residents have taken a stand. Signs dot the roads, and voices echo in protest. This is how corporate greed sparked the carrot boycott, igniting a battle for survival in the heart of California. In the Cuyama Valley north of Santa Barbara, lush green fields stretch across the desert, with thousands of acres dedicated to a single thirsty crop: carrots. Wells and pumps draw groundwater from depths above the 680 feet, causing the aquifer's levels to drop. As the valley's only water source diminishes, a bitter legal battle over water rights has erupted between carrot growers and the community. Residents have launched a campaign urging people to stop buying carrots. Signs and banners declaring boycott carrots and stand with Cuyama against corporate greed have appeared along roads, in cattle pastures, and outside homes and businesses. These signs target Grimmway Farms and Bolthouse Farms, two of the world's largest carrot-growing companies and the valley's biggest water users. The controversy escalated when these companies and several allied entities sued property owners throughout the valley in 2021, asking a court to determine how much water everyone could pump. The lawsuit has left several farmers, ranchers, and other property owners with staggering legal bills. Residents accuse companies of trying to secure as much water as possible while forcing painful cuts on small farms. Chris Wegas, who runs a family farm with her husband, voiced the community's frustration. They're all for themselves. It's all about the money. It's totally disheartening that somebody wants to come in and basically destroy you for their own personal gain. Following the community's rally around the carrot boycott, Bolthouse Farms and Grimmway Farms recently dropped out of the lawsuit, filing requests to remove themselves as plaintiffs. Other companies leasing farmland to the growers are continuing with the case. Grimmway Farms, the world's largest carrot grower, stated the lawsuit was intended to ensure an equitable allocation of water basin-wide to protect groundwater rights for all users. However, the company acknowledged, "Our relationship with residents of Cuyama are more important and valuable to us than this court case." Grimmway and Bolthouse are committed to reducing water use and participating in the valley's groundwater management plan, which the state recently approved. Despite these commitments, residents and small farmers remain at odds with the carrot growers and continue their boycott. Two carrot companies in the Cuyama Valley pumped over 28,000 acre-feet of water last year, accounting for about 65% of all measured pumping. Their combined water usage is nearly 3 times the annual consumption of Santa Barbara. This excessive water use has led to significant depletion of the local aquifer, causing tensions within the community. Chris and Jim Wegas have been running their family farm since 1979. 5 years ago, they switched from growing water-intensive alfalfa to planting 200 acres of olive trees, requiring much less water. Despite their efforts to conserve water, they've witnessed carrot farms expand and drill more wells. Chris Wegas expressed their frustration, saying they have come in and basically, excuse my language, R-word our valley. They're a problem. They're the ones that are not sustainable. Chris Wegas, while picking olives to sample their oil content, highlighted the threat posed by carrot growers' tactics to local farms like hers. Already in debt, their family business is struggling to survive. "Our blood, sweat, and tears are in this land," Wegas said, "and for someone to come in and try to rob us of our livelihood and to take it from us for their own profit, it's unrighteous. I mean, it's just criminal." The conflict in the Cuyama Valley is part of a larger issue in California, where farming communities grapple with chronic groundwater depletion. Similar lawsuits have been filed in Ventura County, Ridgecrest, as well as other areas. These legal battles complicate California's efforts to implement the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act of 2014, which aims to regulate and stabilize groundwater levels. Groundwater depletion in California and the Southwest is outpacing regulation efforts, threatening future water availability amid climate change. A recent study found that California's current plans to address overpumping are insufficient, leaving thousands of wells at risk of running dry. The Cuyama Valley is one of 21 groundwater basins deemed critically overdrafted by state officials. To stabilize groundwater levels by 2040, local agencies must drastically reduce water use by up to 2/3. In July, a group of Cuyama Valley residents launched a boycott against carrot companies due to their excessive groundwater pumping and ongoing lawsuit. Organizers including Charlie Bosma created and distributed signs and bumper stickers to spread the message. Bosma emphasized the boycott's purpose: to make the companies realize the harm they're causing to the valley. Charlie Bosma, who grew up in Cuyama Valley, lives on a cattle ranch and is deeply affected by the legal battle. His legal bills have exceeded $11,000, and the local school district, where he works as an athletic director, has spent $15,000 defending its water rights. The local drinking water supplier also proposed a $20 a month surcharge to cover legal costs burdening low-income residents. The community has rallied around an online petition demanding that Grimmway and Bolthouse Farms cease overpumping, end the lawsuit, and reimburse residents for their legal fees. Despite his fondness for carrot cake, Bosma has switched to zucchini cake as part of his commitment to the boycott. He described the fight as the valley's most critical battle, with significant consequences if not resolved correctly. Both Grimmway and Bolthouse Farms have withdrawn from the lawsuit. Grimmway stated their aim was never to cut the water rights of smaller users. Bolthouse Farms committed to reducing water usage by 5% for 2 years and 60% by 2040. Driven by a commitment to sustainability. However, Bolthouse Landco, a subsidiary leasing land to Bolthouse Farms, remains a plaintiff, pushing for a collaborative legal process to meet the state groundwater law objectives. The litigation has led to disputes among agricultural landowners over water cutbacks. Some, like Jim and Chris Wigas, argue that carrot growers caused the problem and should bear the brunt of the solution. They contend that water levels are stable in their area, citing studies showing a fault separates their aquifer from the depleted central basin. Bosma and the community view the carrot company's withdrawal from the lawsuit as a positive step, but insist it's insufficient. The boycott will continue until companies actively engage in finding a solution. Historically, the Cuyama Valley's aquifer has been heavily pumped, depleting ancient water reserves accumulated over millennia and drying up wetlands. Some carrot growers arrived in the Cuyama Valley in the 1980s, purchasing alfalfa fields. Over the past 20 years, these operations have evolved from small family-run businesses to large corporate entities, significantly expanding their acreage. The boycott has garnered support from farmers, including those growing pistachios, grapes, and other crops. Tristan Zanan, who manages his family's pistachio farm, expressed surprise at the company's decision to sue. He suspects that an accountant deemed litigation more cost-effective. As Zanan oversees the pistachio harvest, he considers removing some trees to conserve water. He notes that declining water levels near the carrot farms leads to higher pumping costs and worsening water quality due to increased salinity. "We're scared to death that we won't have water in 10-15 years, Zanan said. Zanan criticizes carrot growers for causing much of the water overdraft problem, while positioning themselves to secure the largest water allocations. He believes the adjudication case has created an alternative battleground for water disputes, separate from the state-mandated regulations. The rise of similar lawsuits suggests that California may see more of these cases as water scarcity continues to cause conflicts. "It's a good time to be a water lawyer," Zanan remarked. "This is the beginning of the water wars." Gene Gaylord and Meg Brown, who run a small farm growing various vegetables, are also affected. They use minimal water, but the level in their well has been dropping by about 1.5 feet each year. Gaylord demonstrated the issue by tasting a pinch of white crust from the ground, confirming its salinity. "There's salt in there, and that's never good for farming," Gaylord said. That has been worsening over the years. Gaylord and Brown view the extensive water extraction by carrot growers as harmful to many local farmers. Standing beside his home and looking over the vast carrot fields, Gaylord remarked, "They're hurting many people by extracting all the water. They're unsustainable." So, what do you think of how corporate greed sparked the carrot boycott? Comment below and subscribe for more.